You've heard the Wall Street Journal calling the board's move to oust Sam Altman as a misguided kamikaze run, and it seems like OpenAI employees now threatening to leave feel the same. What's your view on what's unfolded here over the last 48 hours?
Well, thanks for having me on. It's certainly been a whirlwind. This has not only sent shockwaves through Silicon Valley, but also through the tech sector in general, as AI has been one of the main drivers of growth in the economy. As you mentioned, really, this is, a governance failure, potentially. It's something that we'll probably study a lot as case studies in business schools. I think there'll probably end up being a movie out of this saga. But what's unusual about this company is that it's really set up as a nonprofit that oversees the for-profit unit. And when Sam was fired, Sam Altman, it was for a breakdown in communications with the board. They said that he wasn't having candid communications with other board members and was fired. This is not something we would typically see if this was a typical Silicon Valley startup that was, focused on for-profit or profit maximization.
Indeed, and you could say, look, OpenAI is probably one of the most important companies in the world right now. And as you say, its governance structure hasn't necessarily been match fit for its growth. So what is the right governance structure moving forward? And to this question of Microsoft's involvement, given its sizable investment, does Microsoft deserve a seat on the board moving forward?
Yes, for sure. And so AI is a little special when you think about technologies that are being developed, and OpenAI's mission is to develop it safely and to benefit all of humanity. And that doesn't sound like the kind of conversation or languages we have about, Microsoft. They typically are focusing on profit maximization for their shareholders. But they made such a large investment. They're a minority shareholder in it with a 49% stake. And it was a little surprising that they didn't take a board seat to begin with. Perhaps they had such a strong relationship with Sam Altman that they didn't feel like that was necessary. But I think now we're seeing those tensions between a board that may not be focused on profit, trying to run a company that is very profitable, as you said, is one of the fastest growing companies in the world.
And when you look at the Microsoft impact here on the market, we saw shares closing at an all-time high after Satya Nadella moved very quickly here to hire Altman and Brockman out of the chaos. Of course, Nadella knows this business well. He also knows that startups are nothing without their people and the right people. He, of course, also needs to protect his investments. So what do you think this means for OpenAI moving forward if we do indeed see this exodus of staff, perhaps following Altman over to Microsoft, as they have threatened to do? Is the future of the company at stake here?
It's absolutely at stake. This is an existential risk for OpenAI. If Sam Altman and Mr. Brockman stay with Microsoft, and as you mentioned, the almost 85% of the workforce claimed that they would leave if the board did not resign and bring Altman back. If that happens and they leave, or a substantial number of them leave for Microsoft, just as you said, a company is nothing without its employees, especially a tech company. And so we could see them either merge with another company. I think they tried to merge already with Anthropic. Or we could see it dissolve, which would just be astounding to see a company that was valued privately at over $80 billion recently essentially go to zero.